Hey, I think we're already live on Facebook. That was fast, you guys. Happy early
Oh,
Thanksgiving.
happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Where are you guys let us know who's cooking at home and who's traveling to cook or who's even going down the street, right? Or across town. Let me tell you, being the host is such a different experience than cooking a a dish or part of the meal and bringing it, right? Like it's a
Yeah,
whole different ball of wax. Oh my gosh.
it's a whole different thing. I love hosting. I haven't done it in years, but I love hosting mostly because when I was away from my family, people always ask me to their home, like, oh, you come on, like the lost child out there, come on in, come on in. And it was such a lovely experience all the time. So I encourage people, like, if you have friends that don't have family here, bring them in. You'll
Invite
be
them
better
over,
for it.
right?
You'll love it. Yeah. I always loved that. It's like, oh, I wonder what their Thanksgiving's like. So
It
I got to see.
totally.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I have to say, so I love hosting. Historically, my husband and I used to do a Friendsgiving, but we always used to do it like 2 full weeks ahead of time so that everybody could go to their own Thanksgiving and you weren't eating turkey like the Saturday night before Thanksgiving and then Thanksgiving and then all weekend after Thanksgiving and beyond, right? So
That's
we
such a
always
great idea.
did it really early. And this was before our kids went away to college. So then they also, being a blended family, they had to go to multiple Thanksgivings, right? So we didn't have to stack them like back to back to back. Um, but it allowed us to have, the people in your life. People always say it's the family that you choose, right? This extended family of friends that mean so much, but sometimes we get so busy. So we'd have 40 and 50 people over. We'd have
Oh
like
my gosh.
massive Friendsgivings, and I cooked and it's so fun to be the host, honestly. It's a lot of work,
Yeah.
but just so fun to create the environment, right? That just everyone likes to enjoy and chat and talk. And so, yes,
Yeah.
this
I,
time
I, I
we
love
did
that.
ours early this time. So family could fly different places also. And the people that I knew would help me like clean the dishes afterward, right? They're like, what do you think about using your regular dishes? Because I always break out my china and crystal.
Hmm.
But that means everything's being washed by hand. And I was like, uh, it's kind of an expectation. So we did not break out the crystal, but we did use the china. I'm
Oh,
like,
good for you.
you just got to do it, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Like my China's been on the shelf. It never sees the light of day. I gotta be honest.
and honestly, to clean a plate, it's very different than pots and pans. Like, it's not
Yeah.
hard to wash a plate by hand.
Yeah.
Crystal gets a little touchy with drying it and the whole thing. So,
Hmm.
anyways, we still did it, which was tons of fun and we
Good for
enjoyed
you.
it.
And
Yeah.
everyone's better for it. Good job.
Everyone's better for it. And it's so cute. We invited some neighbors over because we're new to the area and it was very nice. And after we're like eating, there's a part of just enjoying and not letting anybody clean because it kind of changes the dynamic when cleaning starts happening.
Yeah.
But my son always is so good, no questions asked, straight to start cleaning, like just takes, he doesn't do it from start to finish, but he does a good chunk of the dishes, which is
Yeah.
just so grateful. And the neighbors were looking at him and he's like, I'm a son. This part of my duties on the holidays is dishes. I was like, oh gosh, great.
Good training. I'm gonna have to send Deming over to you.
Yeah, bring them on
Train.
over, right? I mean, there was not even an asking. It was just happened. And
So
I was
good.
like, oh, lovely. So
Yeah. So good.
tons and tons of fun. Oh my gosh. So let us know. We want to know. And some of you guys are probably like, oh, we're not even on Facebook because we're traveling, but you could be stuck in an airport. And so you're watching us anyways over on Facebook. So say hello. Where are you traveling? We really hope you have an amazing holiday. And we will kind of look, we will get into this. Give me one moment, you guys. So, hello, Dr. Heidi. We are going to be back today talking about um something that people probably are like, why are you guys talking about this topic? But the topic we're going to talk about is masterminds, because that's
Hmm.
a word that is new-ish that people are using these days.
Yeah, you'll hear it more and more, but I have more people say, oh, when I tell them, oh, we're doing, Kellie and I are developing a mastermind, a women's mastermind. They're like, what's a mastermind?
What
And
even is a mastermind,
so what
right?
even is a mastermind? Because what comes to mind, Kellie, when you hear the word mastermind, what
Yes,
initially came to mind?
absolutely. And you guys, honestly, I was a part and have been a part of masterminds, but they've all been business related.
Hmm.
And either I go pay $10,000, you're part of this year-long mastermind program, you exchange ideas, everybody shares best practices, there's usually somebody who facilitates it. But you can also have, which I've been a part of in some of the businesses I'm in, other people that do what I do. We've just joined in small masterminds to have accountability, to ask about like, hey, I'm stuck on this issue. How are you resolving that issue in your work, right? Because we're in like-minded areas. So you can create your own masterminds that are totally free, but just like together as collective and accountability. But a lot of times is you're paying top dollar to be around community and company of people that are like-minded, that you want what they have.
Yeah.
And most of it has been coined in business.
Hmm.
But what Dr. Heidi and I really found is when you take that exact principle, but instead of looking at it to make money, you drop it to optimize your health. Imagine what could unfold in a community like that.
Absolutely. We thought the business of your health is an absolute thing that we all need to know, yet it eludes us. Different aspects of optimal health, food choices, exercise decisions, these kinds of things. It's hard to dial it in. We listen to podcasts, we get a little bit here, we read a little bit here, but to really bring it together with like-minded people, with like-minded questions and like-minded answers, you could walk away with a whole basket of preparedness for your health, for your wellness, and take total command of it. And that's what we hope. That's why Kellie and I thought we have to bring a women's mastermind together so that we can provide this basket of knowledge and tools to just, I got this, you know?
At this. So let me ask you this. Let's kind of paint this picture, Heidi. Like let's before you existed, meaning before the world of functional medicine, alternative medicine, I mean, it's existed for years, but it wasn't common. Not a lot of people
Yeah.
sought it out. So prior to that, most of the time when people think about health, you just live life until you need something, and then you would go to your doctor, right? You're sick, you have an allergy, you need a surgery, something happens, you go see your doctor. um and then outside of that, maybe you have health choices because you hired a trainer at the gym or somebody that helped you with your food, which that's even newer,
Hmm.
but historically, as far as healthcare or wellness, that's about all people used it for. We kind of, and many people still use it for that exact thing, right?
People are still stuck in that model of, well, I'm not sick, I don't need to go to the doctor, right? And that was the idea, is I don't go to the doctor until I'm sick. And all of our doctors are trained in that same vein. Like, there's no discussion of preventative, I speak forwards, preventative medicine. There's no preemptive strikes. There's no, hey, we can cut this off at the pass. Hey, how about let's not get cancer? But they're not trained that way. They have to be trained to get a diagnosis. So it's not only are the human existence and the idea, well, I'm not sick, so I don't need to go to the doctor. I only go to the doctor when I'm sick. The doctor can only actually treat you when you are sick.
And
So if
that's even more crazy.
that's crazy, right? If they can't give it a clear cut diagnosis, code, that's all insurance and stuff, they really are not taught tools to keep it prevented. They'll say more and more, they are saying, well, watch what you eat. I think you need to get more exercise. They are incorporating these things, but they're not trained, they're not experts in it. And so they're sort of tell you, you need to go talk to a dietitian, or you
Yeah,
need to go talk
go right.
to, right, get a trainer. But you're right. Initially, it was we only used our doctors when we were uncomfortable enough to seek relief,
And
right?
probably, right, you guys have gone to the doctor and then you've left and you get home and you're like, oh, why did I ask them this? Oh my God, I forgot about this.
All the time.
And then you have to wait until you're sick again. But now that question's like not even pertinent anymore, right? And you totally forget about it, things like that. And then let's move into more, I'll say, today's time, modern time of people go to the doctor for certain things, but a lot of people have a handful of wellness providers. So
Mhm.
maybe they go see the acupuncturist, maybe they have a massage therapist, maybe they have a system or a person or somebody that does helps them with food choices. But in that, each section is disconnected.
Right.
And
It's
somebody's treating you for this system or this issue, or it's really still being not looked at as root cause whole wellness.
mhm,
It's more chasing symptoms.
right. It's That's such a great point. It's still separated. It's still nobody's talking to each other who's providing for you. And that's what I find curious. There should be a point person. And if we need to refer out, that point person should make sure that information is assimilated and everyone's on the same page so that we don't have crossover in too many pharmaceuticals and even supplements. This is what I find. People will come and they'll have bags of supplements and say, I'm taking this from this doctor, I'm taking this from this chiropractor, I'm taking this from this person. I'm like, yeah, but do you know how many B vitamins you're taking in one day if you take all of those? It's extreme. You don't need this, right? Are you not eating?
Yeah,
Because you get a
yeah.
lot of these in your food, right?
It's
So
interesting that
this
you
is
kind of said that like central person or that chief person, because people in therapy would come to me. And at the time they were seeking my resources, it wasn't, they didn't know what they're looking for. Obviously, they needed help so I could help them with their concussion or stroke or brain injury or whatever. However, I was like, what are you eating? What are you doing for this? Who are you doing for this? You might need this. Have you considered this? And they're like, I'm like, this hospital's known for this, or go seek that, or read this book. And they said, this is what we've been looking for. We've had nobody that was like steering the ship, that was the champion. And we kept looking to the doctor, but the doctor's like, what do you need me for? What procedure do you need? What medicine do you need? You're okay? Okay. So that's this, you could call it a case manager, but how we use case managers in hospitals and stuff is
right.
very, very selective and unique, just maybe more for discharge planning versus
Yes.
coordinating total care. And it's really just total care within the healthcare system. I mean,
Within that tiny
the,
system.
the
Yeah.
insurance system, not the healthcare, the insurance system. You guys, I know it's tight. The insurance system is so wide and vast and interesting. I just have to say one quick thing. One of our neighbors here in our community, she's a doctor, and she was sharing with us that in order for her to get paid by some of the insurances, she has to make sure certain blood work is in a certain range, and there's like annual tests of certain stuff. And if that person doesn't go get that test, or if their blood work's not in this range, they won't get paid on that person. So she's like, I'm calling them saying, you got to get your sugars down. And they're like, hey, listen, if you do this for me, I'll do this, or I'll go get this test I'm supposed to have. And so she's like, I've become, and it's a smaller town feel, right? So it's a little easier for her to do that. But literally she's saying, I've got to call, and it's not my fault as a doctor when I already told them to eat differently or take this medicine. They're just not doing it. But I won't get paid because their numbers are not in a range. I was like, how we've gotten so far off what healthcare medicine is supposed to be.
Yeah.
So you guys, this kind of brings us back to, it's so great that now we have so many options and books and podcasts and practitioners and clinicians for everybody. I mean, and now with social media, you can, find somebody in another country and see them if you want to. I mean, it doesn't matter. But what Heidi and I still felt is there were skills and things that people came to me for to help them. There are skills and things people come to Heidi for to help them, but we can only help so many people.
Mhm.
And even in that one by one, what if we could collectively collaborate our resources? what if we could take people on a journey that you don't have to forget your question and wait for 6 months to get sick to ask it again, because you're there in a community on an ongoing basis. And you're not just having a test run because you think you're sick. You're having tests run to look at, where are you? We need to just say, where are you? And with that, sometimes we think we're like the solo one, we're alone, but everybody else is like, oh, oh, what's your gut doing? What have you found that's working? You know, we will give you our stuff, but when you're in that community that you can feel comfortable asking questions, because it's all the people that want to live optimally, have the best health. You don't find that anywhere else. Ladies, I mean, you might go to the gym or go to yoga and you think that's your tribe and people are chatting, but no, there's just a group there because it's in vogue or wants to wear Lululemon or whatever, right? But they're not all your people. Some of them might be, but they're not all your people. So Heidi and I are like, okay, let's collect our people. Let's find who wants to be a part of a community that really wants completely optimal health. So Heidi, tell some of the things, like when people come in, what would be, I mean, there's certain things that in order to give advice or help or get people on the right path that need to be done. So in the mastermind, not only are you going to have all of that collaboration and support and everything, we're going to uncover a lot, but what are some of like the tests that people would expect to get so that we can help make a roadmap?
Yeah. It's a great question. You know, some of the things that need to be done, that need to be assessed, is most of the time when we go see a practitioner in standard medicine, they'll run very limited blood work, mostly because the insurance tells them this is all you need for initial evaluation. And while they are very informative, if you know how to read them, there's so many other tests that can be really informative to let you know, like you say, Kelly, where you are. Are you headed down a real inflammatory pathway, a diabetic pathway, an autoimmune pathway? A regular CBC with differential isn't necessarily going to tell you all of that. And so a good comprehensive test that looks at your whole body, not super expensive, not this used to the comprehensive test that we run in our mastermind is one that was standard 30 years ago, 35 years ago, but the insurance has whittled down, like, you don't need that, you don't need that, you don't need that, but we do, because that's where preventative health comes in, looking at these markers. Are we on the high end or low end? We all pretty much have leaky gut, but it's a good idea to look at leaky gut and look at some food markers to just really know, like, am I sensitive to this food or am I not? Let's get that cleared up straight away. Mostly gluten, mostly dairy. These are the big questions. These are the things we find in food all the time. I always recommend, let's just clear that question up definitively, right? Big fan of genetic testing, 3x4 genetics. We love their blueprint. It really helps us dial in so much about your diet, your exercise, etc. And then we go through, those are major tests that we need to do. Sometimes we'll go in deeper and do some micronutrient testing. But again, those are the basics that I always say. These we have to do initially, and these will give us so much information to really clear the path, so we know this is the path we have to go down. This is the route. Here's the steps, and it's for you. It's not a general step, right? Otherwise, why would I need a blood test? I want the blood test to help me regulate that blueprint for you and overlap it with the genetics. Tons of information to get you started and get you moving. So that's generally what we do initially.
Yeah. I was gonna say, you guys even have more, but this is what's so curious, right? I would say, and tell me, Heidi, what you think. If I would say the top 3 things, so ladies, all of you listening, think about what would be the top 3 things that you would be asked about a practitioner, or meaning that are the top of your concern, right? The top 3 things you're concerned of about your health. currently. And I don't mean like you're concerned about cancer, but just in general. So I would say number one is hormones around our age. Like everyone's like wants to know about their hormones. The second one is weight loss or weight gain, right? Or struggle with their weight. And then the third one is just overall energy. I'm feeling sluggish or tired or brain fog, right? So those three questions, everyone, cannot be answered or saying like, oh, just here, take this hormone cream and you're good. Like, we don't even know without doing blood work and your genetic testing, or we can't say, go do a HIIT workout. That's for you. That's what's going to drop your weight. That will rebalance your hormones. You'll get more energy, because working out that way might not behoove you and your genetics. It might be the worst thing for you. So you're thinking you're doing all the right things, like you're hitting it at the gym or you're eating these right foods, but that's not what your body needs. And that was really mind-blowing to me, because people take their whole life. They don't take a year. They take their whole life struggling. Why do I always have fatigue? Why do I always struggle with weight gain? Why do I always feel like that? Why do I not have any libido? You can't just rack it up to say I'm getting older.
Yeah.
That's not the case, you guys. And so those are why Heidi and I said there's so much to demystify out there, because the internet is selling you the quick fix of, oh, do this and everything's going to be fine. And I'm exaggerating a bit, but
Not much.
realizing everything is layer by layer by layer. So we will get to addressing hormones, but we can't just send you off and go get hormones without looking at your gut, looking at how your body's metabolizing things, cleaning out the trash, right? So we can get your cells even communicating, and looking at how your body processes things, right? How it detoxifies and methylates and all the other things that will determine choices that we're going to make for you. And we don't want it to be your lifelong struggle. Therefore, we're like, could we take a chunk of your life, i.e., like a 6-month period, turn it into a mastermind where you're in community with like-minded people and you get all of this done? So you don't have to go to this doctor and this doctor and this clinician and this clinician. You're going to have ownership. You got to do the work, because that is the thing. We own our own health. We have to do the work. But through testing, we can guide you. We can coach you. We can advise you what's right for your body. But here's the bigger thing, Heidi, is sometimes health can be scary, but we want it to be fun.
Yeah. Life is fun. Having your health provides you with the platform of fun, right? If we're miserable, if we're tired, if we have a poor self-image because our body's a little bit plumpy here or there, we're not having fun. And we should be having fun. What does the Mary Oliver say? What are you going to do with this one great life, right? We should be having fun. We should be going for it and chasing dreams. And I know when you say dreams, it gets all woo-woo, but chase dreams. And if that dream is just to finish a half marathon, okay, it takes more than running, right? It takes recovery. It takes good food. It takes all the things you need to do. So yeah, life should be fun, and we should be gliding through it as we age, not accepting these declines and levels of suffering. That is a part of today, I think. And Kelly, you can speak to this. Tony Robbins and his group did a study, and it says like we are living longer, but we're suffering longer as well.
We are suffering longer in so many ways, you guys.
In so many ways.
It's really unbelievable. So think about this. If you run a business, you're like, give me the checklist, give me the playbook, give me what do I need to do, right? And we get to work. Even just say you're a mom, you got your playbook with your kids and activities and your cooking, and you're like on it. But some reason the playbook for health doesn't exist. And so that's, again, it's not a check off the box, and it's not the one size do it fits all. You need to create your playbook, but we want you to have it. Because then if you know it, then it's like you're going to score 100% of the time, right? You don't have to guess what your opponent's going to do, meaning what food you're taking or what exercise that's your opponent. Like, is it good for me or not?
That's
Right?
right.
Am I going to get pummeled or am I scoring a touchdown? I don't know.
Right.
But that has been what's missing. And so when I was young, I had a lot of guesswork being done, and it never made sense to me until I did everything. And it also didn't make sense to me because I felt like I was an oddball and I didn't have people to talk to about it. Like, people really wanted optimal health, they wanted to feel better, or I just shouldn't talk about it. And I think sometimes in the day and age, it's just, you just do the do.
Mm-hmm.
Push your feelings aside, and our feelings are valid, and our feelings mean we will talk about that too, because we want you to not go through life with anxiety and depression, right? We want you to, because your food choices can affect your mental health and your emotional
Absolutely.
health. It is
Absolutely.
all interconnected. And so how many people do you guys want to go see? That's the question.
Right. Yeah. What's the quickest route to managing you? Because the world out there is so much about fake it till you make it. If you look the part, you have the right clothes, you go to the right gym, you do the right yoga, but you're not feeling better. But because you're doing all the right things, it's hard to admit it. And so you fake it till you make it. That doesn't work. No more faking it. Let's give you real, actionable information and tools that are for you so that you can thrive. You can be hitting that touchdown every day because you want to, because you're capable.
You know, I
It's
think
power.
whenever people have like a product, a service, a thing, it needs to solve a problem. So let's just say somebody comes up with the softest pajamas. It's because they don't have pajamas that are soft to have a good night's sleep. So they solve a problem of these soft pajamas. Tommy John's has done that with like guys' underwear right now. I hear the commercials for it all the time. That they solve a problem. When you go to a traditional business mastermind, it solves the problem of, how can I learn from others that have done it? How can I be in the space of these people? And what questions do I even ask, right? Like, it solves the problem for you to go to that next level in your business or in your life. And so that's where those of you out there is, you've got a problem with your health, is you're just not attending to it at all, or you're in a little bit of a disarray all over the place, right? Or maybe you're actually really sick right now and you don't know what to do. No one's really helping you. I don't know where you're at. But if you are like, you know what, give me the playbook and give me the community, right? Because you don't want to be on any football team, right? You want to be on the team. So
The team.
the team. If you want community and you want to have the playbook to your health, then we would encourage you guys. Now, here's the thing. Heidi and I don't run these all the time, and nor are they available all the time.
Right.
So we want you to start thinking about this and seeing, is it something you want to invest in your health? And you can be first on our list. Right now, we have a waiting list. It's going to open up this spring again, early spring. And so if you want to be on that, we welcome you. But it doesn't have to be our mastermind. We want you to start thinking about your health differently. And how can you get a service or go somewhere that's looking at everything and not one thing? And if you're only looking at one or two things yourself, we want to open up your eyes to say, ooh, I haven't done genetic testing. Ooh, I haven't done blood work. Or, oh, I haven't really paid attention to this area. Or mindset in terms of health. What are you even talking about, mindset in terms of health? Because you're probably still stuck in, this is what my parents and grandparents had. So most likely I'm too going to be always struggle with being overweight, and they're diabetic. So that's why I have issues with my metabolic health. I do too. And we want to shift that up and changing your mindset that that's not the truth. You might think it's true. It's not the truth.
Yeah, exactly. And let's just clarify the myths. Exactly. That's why I was talking to a friend the other day. And I said, I love being 60. And she was like, what? And I said, no, you know what? What I realized about being 60 is I've gone through it all already, right? the athlete finding the best diet and how to recover and how to get muscle being teeny tiny and how to get muscle and power. And I've done all that and I've gone through perimenopause and gained the weight and couldn't get it off. And the more I did the things I used to do to keep off the weight, the more weight I gained. Sleep was out the window, stress was high. Then I go through menopause. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. This is how you do it all. And so I've been through it all. I've had to do it all. And I think to myself the whole time, how can I get more information, share it with people so they don't have to go to the depths. They don't have to go to the edge and feel it because it's not that scary at the time when you're in it. It's scary. It's frustrating. It's depressing.
Mm-hmm.
It's depressing. And you feel like you're alone. You're not. We all have to go through it. We're all going through it and we all will survive. But there's some key things you can do for you to make it all the difference. And it's great. I love being 60.
Oh my gosh. So we really just wanted to come on today because most people, health masterminds are new. You guys may have heard of like concierge medicine, right? That maybe you have somebody that you pay a fee for, so you have direct access to them, but it's still one clinician. It's not multiple areas of your life, of your health, of different testing per se. So we wanted to say, let's create something that's new. No one knows about it. Everybody wishes they could probably have it, but just nobody knows about it. So the ultimate goal is to educate. We're putting this out there. So if you're somebody who's like, wow, I want to pioneer, I want to be first, I want to take control of my health, then we'd love for you to join us. And maybe you're hearing this for the first time and you not join us this year or next time, but maybe it's in 2 or 3 years. But we want you to start the thought process of thinking differently in terms of your health.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's make that mind shift. And we just wanted to put it out there today to just get the wheels turning. This sounds interesting. And contemplate it, meditate on it, see what resonates with you. But come join us. We'd love for you to join us.
Oh my gosh. And I'll put this one last seed before we wrap up, everybody, is we will be doing some early bird as it comes out. So if you just want to know about it, like I said, I want you guys to, contact and reach out to Dr. Heidi and myself, depending on where you're listening to this. If you're listening to the podcast, definitely reach out to us. We'll put all of our information in the show notes. If you're listening to us potentially over on social media, you can just message us, Mastermind, and we'll get you on the list. Because the first people are going to have exclusive access to a few additional things. And it towards the end of the year as part of it, if you so choose, we're going to be also having a retreat that is going to be pretty phenomenal that you don't want to miss. So just to, get on the list and make sure you don't get missed, let us know. We will make sure you get all the information, no strings attached. If you're ready, you're ready. If you're not, you're not when the time comes. But just start expanding your horizons. And if your health is better, imagine what else could be better in your life, right? Your relationships, your businesses, everything in your life, it's all, we can't separate it. So by having ultimate abundant health, you're going to end up living extraordinary in all aspects of your life, which is really cool. It's a byproduct of excellent health.
Amen.
Amen. All right, you guys, until next week, we are signing off. Remember, contact us either through our email or social media, and we will deliver you the goods for the mastermind as things unfold. We hope today has been helpful. If you feel like it was, definitely share this with somebody else that you're like, you should take a look at these ladies. They're having fun. And I think they know what they're talking about in terms of health.
We sure do.
All right, everybody. Thanks so
Take
much
care.
for joining us.
Bye-bye.